Once malware executes on a system, the next critical question is whether it can spread. In this episode, we focus on containment, which is the discipline of limiting how far and how fast malicious activity can travel after initial compromise. Even with strong preventive controls, no environment can guarantee that malware will never run. Containment assumes that breaches are possible and prepares the environment so that one infected system does not become dozens. By using segmentation, strict privilege limits, and rapid isolation routines, organizations reduce the blast radius of an incident and protect critical assets from cascading compromise. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. To understand containment, imagine a small fire starting in one room of a building. If the building has fire-resistant walls and automatic doors that close, the fire remains confined to that room. If there are no barriers, the flames can quickly engulf the entire structure. In cybersecurity, segmentation acts like those fire-resistant walls. It divides the network into logical zones that restrict how systems communicate. When malware attempts to move laterally, segmentation forces it to cross controlled boundaries rather than freely scanning and infecting every reachable device. Network segmentation can be implemented in multiple ways, but the principle is consistent. Limit communication to what is necessary for business function. For example, user workstations typically do not need direct administrative access to database servers. Development systems may not require unrestricted communication with production systems. By defining clear trust boundaries and enforcing them through network controls, organizations make it significantly harder for malware to spread beyond its initial foothold. Segmentation turns the network from a flat landscape into a series of controlled compartments. Effective segmentation requires understanding normal communication patterns. If boundaries are defined without knowledge of legitimate traffic, they may disrupt operations or be bypassed frequently. Containment is strongest when segmentation reflects real business workflows and is enforced consistently. Monitoring traffic between segments can also provide early warning of suspicious movement attempts. Unexpected cross-segment communication may indicate lateral movement in progress. Privilege limits provide another powerful containment mechanism. Malware often spreads by leveraging compromised credentials with elevated rights. If users or services have excessive permissions, malicious code can access additional systems, create new accounts, or modify configurations widely. Enforcing least privilege ensures that accounts have only the access required for their roles. When privileges are constrained, malware inherits those limitations, restricting its ability to expand its reach. Administrative credentials deserve particular protection because they often provide broad control across systems. If malware gains access to an account with domain-wide administrative rights, containment becomes far more difficult. Separating administrative accounts from everyday user accounts reduces exposure. Implementing role-based access and minimizing shared credentials further strengthens containment. When high-level privileges are scarce and tightly managed, attackers face greater obstacles. Another aspect of privilege control involves monitoring and auditing account use. Rapid detection of unusual privilege escalation attempts can signal compromise early. For example, if a standard user account suddenly begins attempting administrative actions, this behavior warrants investigation. Early detection supports faster containment before malware spreads widely. Visibility into privilege use complements segmentation by identifying suspicious actions at account level. Rapid isolation routines are the third major containment element. When suspicious activity is detected, the ability to quickly isolate an affected system from the network prevents further communication. Isolation may involve removing the device from network access, placing it into a restricted segment, or disabling associated credentials. The key is speed and clarity. A predefined isolation process ensures that responders do not waste time deciding what to do during an active incident. Isolation procedures should be documented and tested in advance. During an incident, confusion can delay response and allow malware to continue spreading. Clearly defined roles, authority to act, and communication channels enable decisive containment. Testing these procedures through simulations or tabletop exercises reveals weaknesses and improves readiness. Preparedness transforms isolation from an improvised reaction into a reliable routine. Containment also benefits from endpoint detection capabilities that can identify lateral movement patterns. Malware spreading through shared drives, remote execution tools, or credential harvesting often leaves traces and logs. Detecting these patterns quickly allows responders to isolate not just the initial system, but any additional systems showing signs of compromise. Comprehensive visibility across endpoints strengthens containment efforts. Server containment strategies may differ slightly from endpoint strategies because servers often support critical services. Isolating a production server may disrupt business operations, so containment decisions must balance security with availability. Segmentation helps here by ensuring that servers already operate within controlled zones. In some cases, isolating access to a server while maintaining limited operational connectivity may be necessary. Planning for such scenarios in advance prevents chaotic decision-making. Cloud environments introduce additional considerations for containment. Virtual networks, identity permissions, and service roles must be segmented logically to prevent widespread compromise. Isolation routines may involve revoking tokens, disabling compromised accounts, or restricting service communication. The same principles apply. Limit reach, restrict privilege, and act quickly when suspicious behavior appears. Consistent policy enforcement across on-premises and cloud systems strengthens overall resilience. Containment does not mean ignoring root cause or remediation. It means creating space to investigate safely. By stopping the spread, responders gain time to analyze malware behavior, determine affected systems, and plan recovery steps. Without containment, investigation becomes chaotic and reactive. Controlled isolation reduces uncertainty and protects unaffected assets. Communication is also essential during containment. Stakeholders must understand what systems are isolated, what services may be affected, and what steps are underway. Clear communication prevents unnecessary panic and maintains trust. It also ensures that business leaders can make informed decisions about temporary disruptions. Over time, evaluating containment performance after incidents helps refine controls. If malware spreads beyond initial expectations, segmentation rules or privilege policies may require strengthening. Lessons learned should translate into concrete improvements. Continuous adjustment maintains effectiveness against evolving threats. Containing malware spread is about limiting impact when prevention is imperfect. Segmentation creates boundaries, privilege limits restrict capability, and rapid isolation routines halt expansion. Together, these measures reduce the scale of incidents and protect critical systems. By designing containment into the architecture and practicing response procedures, organizations build confidence that a single compromise will not escalate into widespread disruption. Containment transforms a potentially catastrophic event into a manageable challenge.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.